A pleasant afternoon, everyone. The Philippine poultry industry remains dynamic and a positive growth driver, particularly the table egg producers in our total Philippine livestock agriculture. At least in the last 10 years, commercial layer farms, especially the efficient ones, have achieved decent to huge profit in their layer operations. This is expected to remain steadfast for as long as farms' efficiency and prevention of economically devastating diseases causes outbreaks in farms. The poultry industry in general still faces enormous challenges, in particular when our country encountered confirmed positive cases of the deadly, highly pathogenic avian influenza in two poultry farms, a layer operation in Pampanga and a quail farm in Nueva Ecija. Fortunately, however, with the joint vigilance to contain successfully the viral infection led by our esteemed colleagues in the great Philippine College of Poultry Practitioners, government authorities in the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Animal Industry, after 8 months, again, we were officially declared as bird flu free status in the Philippines by OIE, or the World Organization in Animal Health. Welcome to all our registered participants and the thousands watching the live stream broadcast in our Facebook pages, website, and YouTube. And in behalf of the management and staff of East Asia Vet and our excellence poultry and livestock specialists, led by our corporate president and chief executive officer, Dr. Eulalio Doc Ayong Lorenzo, and our chief operating officer, Sir Yulo Bernard Lorenzo, and the rest of our EDL Group Executive Committee, we like to sincerely thank with much appreciation all of you who are participating and supporting our webinar this afternoon entitled Efficient Egg Production Management to Maximize Profit the Natural Way and the Trial Results of Phytochemicals, Zist, and Zigbir in poultry. We are likewise sincerely grateful to our premier foreign business partner in Natural Remedies Private Limited from Bangalore, India, headed by Chairman Agarwal, International Director Mr. Narendra Reddy, General Manager Dr. Ganesh Saini, and Dr. Junaid Syed, the International Business Manager, for their continued all-out support from the time we have introduced their company to the Philippine market years, several years back. We have planned and prepared a very informative webinar this afternoon answering our corporate social responsibility in promoting and advocating the growing concern on the phenomenon antimicrobial resistance. We hope our very interesting topic sharing this afternoon may be of much help in the profitability of your farm operations, and may our esteemed colleagues in the poultry practice and our distinguished animal nutrition consultants get some new information beneficial in their respective practices and expertise. This is Dr. Rolly Encarnacion Jr., Managing Director of East Asia Vet and Technical and Marketing Director of Farm Champ and Pet Options of our Tatak Excellence. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay at and namaste.
Thank you so much, Doc Rolly, our Managing Director of East Asia Vet, for the warm welcome remarks. Today is indeed a red letter day, given the rare chance and opportunity to share with us his expertise in the field of poultry veterinary medicine. Okay, he is a qualified veterinary graduate from Hyderabad, India, and have got 25 years of rich experience of poultry industry in the sectors of breeder, broiler, and layer operations as well, and as well as the nutrition, vaccination, management, disease diagnosis, and treatment part. During his poultry tenure, he has worked with major organizations in India and is now working with Natural Remedies Private Limited for the past 4 years as the head of technical services for poultry division. Our valued viewers and supporters, without further ado, let's hear it from Dr. Manish Mohekar.
Hello, Doc Manish. I think, can you check the audio?
Dr. Manish, the floor
Yeah,
is
yeah,
yours.
yeah, yeah,
Take it away.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Doc.
Uh, Good afternoon, very good afternoon to everybody. And at today's this very platform, we are going to discuss about few things what it is already shared with for sir also. So I'm just here going to share my screen, and we'll start with the is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
Doc.
Doc.
Yeah. So at this very platform, we are going to discuss, as it is already shared with you, is about efficient egg production management to maximize the profit the natural way. So this is all about layer management in simple way. I can say how to manage the layer birds to get maximum profit from what exactly we need to get from the bird. So this is all about that, and we'll start with the flow of the discussion will go like this. I'll just take my pointer. Yeah. So this is all about, we will initially discuss with global trends, and then it is all about the initial chick and grower management, because that is the most important part to get maximize your profits in the layer management part. And then it's the laying performance of the different layer breeds worldwide which are there. So major breeds I have taken in this, which we need to discuss, and what performances we are supposed to get as per their standards. Then it is economics in the layer performances. This is one part where, because that is very much important to get a right economics, because if we plan what to get and then we get that, that is one important part. And then it is like trials of the different products in the layers particularly. So this is all about the discussion part what I'm going to discuss about. So when we think of global trends in the economic relevance of the egg sector, so it is all about 6 billion laying hens worldwide. They are there, which produce around 76.7 million tons of eggs. This is what 2018 Food and Agriculture Organization data, and this is the 4 million persons are actually they are employed by the egg sector, particularly egg sector I'm talking about. And this is the value at the farm level is around 92,000 million US dollars. Then it is a retail level, it goes around 1 lakh, it is 145,000 million US dollars. Marketing and selling is directly to the final users and the consumers. We could improve the future profits of your business. So this is all about the basic global trends. Then it is all about yearly increase, average yearly increase of the global egg production is about 2.2%. When we are looking from the time period of around 2009 to 2018, this period of say around 10 years, if we see it is a daily, it is almost annual growth. Annual growth is around 2.2%. Average yearly human population, the growth rate is declined from 1.223 in 2009 to 1.104 in 2018. This is the World Bank data again, and it indicates that egg consumption is increasing in the coming time for the improvement in the production. So what it is indicating is the production is increasing every year, and similar way the consumption is also going high. And this is what actually being a food industry we need to look into that part. Then when we think of the developments of the production in the animal protein, so we take off say different animal proteins, particularly beef and swine, that is pork, sheep, that is mutton, eggs, and poultry, that is chicken and egg both. So particularly here we are taking poultry means chicken, where eggs already covered. So this is all about the production data in 2009, it's 18, and the annual increase or annual growth. So we can see here very clearly we have mentioned what it was in 2009 and gone up in the year of say 2018. So with an annual growth of 0.7%, while in the pork industry it is almost around 1.4% annual growth, sheep or mutton industry 1.5, while poultry, particularly eggs and chicken industry, is the highest growth, we can say 2.2 and 3.5% annual growth. And this is what about those growth parameters. So these are the basically top 10 egg producing countries in this particular sector, like egg producing countries. You can see here that those, and India at the moment stand fourth when we think about, and rest of the countries are like this. So you can see here, so maximum it's around 30% of the egg are being produced in China, and the least in the first 10, about 8%, around 8%, 1%, it is in the Turkey. So this is all about that data of say first top 10 countries in the world, rather global top 10 countries as per the FAO data of 2018. Then it is the European Union egg market forecast. So what forecast they have given, which was right from say 15 years almost forecast, rather we can say what it was in 2015, 18, now it is in 2021 or 2020 or 21, then what will be 25 and 30. So this is all about that data of production, then it is total use, and it is the egg consumption per capita. So you can see the egg consumption per capita will be somewhere around 14.3 kgs. It will be there for the eggs. So you can see how it will be going to increase slowly in coming years, how dependency on the food, particularly on the egg industry, will be there in coming years, maybe coming 10 years, you can say 9 or 10 years down the line. So this is what about that, which is around at the moment it is around 13.4, will go up to 14.3 kg per person. Then we will just look into the initial, see, because now on the economy from the basic global part, from there we will shift to how the management part it should be. So I'll just shift to when we get the chicks, layer chicks, particularly in the farm. So you need just a few topics I will cover regarding that. what exactly the brooding is, because we need to give certain temperature to the chicks, technically speaking, because they are coming from a right temperature of say around 93 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit from the setters and hatchers and the big operations, and they come to the farm level. So you need to provide a similar temperature to them for first few days, which is actually called a brooding management. Apart from that, it need to be given a certain humidity as well as the oxygen level in the shade. So this is all about the brooding part, which required to be given for first 14 days. In this, there are two sectors, what we call, actually one is called a spot brooding, and that is the whole house brooding. Spot brooding is nothing but actually it is brooding for that particular place where we brood the chicks in the certain area where we brood it. So that is called what temperature and what are things need to be maintained. That is a spot brooding, and whole house brooding is nothing but maintaining the house of the temperature with certain things so that a very comfortable environment can be given to the chicks for a better development. So this is all about the temperature as well as the relative humidity should be 60 to 70%. So this is that. And then what are the key points? So key points to be considered for the brooding. The day-old chicks, they are extremely dependent on the floor contact to help the regulate the changing temperature. Therefore, it's important to maintain the right litter temperature. When they are coming from, say, the certain environment, you need to give a right litter temperature, environmental temperature to be given. Then a comfortable chick will breathe through its nostrils and lose around 1 to 2 grams of moisture in the first 24 hours. You can imagine 1 to 2 grams of moisture one chick is releasing every first 24 hours when it comes to the brooding environment. And the yolk contains about the moisture, they will lose the weight, but not become dehydrated, so that it will maintain the ambient temperature of 98 degree Fahrenheit. So with this temperature, yolk need to be dissolved. Ideal air quality should be around oxygen around, as I told you, it is should be around 19.5%, with a carbon dioxide level is around 3000 ppm. Carbon monoxide and ammonia should be less than 10 ppm, and the dust as negligible as possible. This is what the level 3.4 milligram per meter cube. Then it is water is an invisible player for the chicks, as it is recommended in first say few hours or first 24 hours. 24 ml of water is required in first 24 hours for the chicks to get all the say system to perform better and get the nutrients work. That is one thing. Then it is like say the different micron level, it is to be given for the water filters at this level for get the good goal or good water quality. It is about suggested that the 50% of the brooding area and amount should be 50 gram per bird feed should be given on the paper for in the good condition. That is the cleaner feed should be given in that. And then it is 25 lux light, it is mandatory to be given in that particular area, so that it should maintain the light as well as the temperature should be maintained in a proper way. This is what actually we can see the what temperature is required at different ages. It is 0 to 3 days and 4 to 7 days and 8 to 14 days. This is what the temperature in degree centigrade mentioned here: 35 degrees, 34 and 32. And here actually it should be the how the picture should be there when you are brooding the chicks. So it should not be a very high temperature so that chicks will go away from the source. It should not be very low temperature, should be that they will come very close to the source, or when it should not, they should not go in a other part of the particular chick guard or the brooder. They should be uniform. This is what actually the picture should be. So complete uniform positioning of the chicks should be there in the chick guard with the right temperature and the right brooding point site temperature. Here it is like say that the room temperature should be like this. At the similar time, 55 to 60% of the humidity, it is very mandatory. If it is very dry weather outside, then you have to practically spray water, a little fine spray of water to be done, so that to maintain the relative humidity. If it is too humid outside, then you have to maintain a little bit the fans and all. You have to reduce the humidity inside. So both way you have to work so that you should be in a position to maintain this humidity and this temperature. So this is all about the basic brooding requirement. Then I'll just quickly shift to the brick trimming or the debaking part, what we call. And this is about first 7 to 10 days this practice has been done, and the second is generally by 13 to 14 weeks in commercial layers. So these are the two types, two times where actually the big trimming or debaking is required to be done. Then it is the hatchery big dipping, it is treatment. In some cases it is done to just take care of that at the hatchery part. Also few people they do, so that seventh day with the infrared big tripping, you can see here the picture, it will drop down on its own. It is just like say the blood supply and all will not be there to this part, so naturally it will drop down by seventh day on its own. So this is actually at hatchery level this is done, and then by seventh day you won't find the tip of the beak will be dropped down. These are the machineries, debeakers, different types of debeakers. They are being used. Infrared for beak treatment. It is here, and it is like say the lion debeakers, what we call. It is been done in the machine way. This is what, and this is actually a ideal this one, debeaked bird, we can say. Okay, so this is about debeaking. Then we'll just go to the critical factor that we consider for the pullet growing. So when we are thinking of pullet growing, the only body weight, if we plan for that, it is not sufficient. So we need to look for the uniformity also. So equally, you can see the balance here, which is balancing both the things. So equally, they are balancing the body weight as well as the uniformity. So this is very important to give a equal balance. You should have enough uniformity in the flock, around more than 80% or more 85%, and with the enough body weights. So this is what for the grower quality. The pullets, they are having enough uniformity, will perform better in their productive life. Then it is like say uniformity percentage, how to calculate that. So when we think of uniformity percentage, there is a small formula for that. It is called number of birds in a range of plus minus 10% of their mean body weight, and then it is into 100 divided by total number of birds weight. So this is actually about when we are thinking of say certain number of birds. So we have to take a say if we are weighed around say in a flock around 2% birds, or maybe a flock of 20,000, we have taken around 4 to 500 birds we have weighed. So in that we have to take a range of plus minus 10% to the standard, and then those birds to be selected, and with that you can get how many birds they are sitting in that particular window. That is say in that uniformity can be calculated. So this is what the formula for that. Then it is beyond uniformity. So one part is body weight, it is over. Then it is uniformity, it is over. Now beyond uniformity, what it should be. So it's like say few factors to be considered for the developing a better bird for the laying. When we are preparing the bird for the laying, it is fleshing. So flesh all over the body should be enough, so that it should give a right sufficient body weight, not of fat body weight, I can say. Then the skeletal development, the bone must have been developed in a way right from, you can see the bony structure here, it should be like this to give a right framing. Then it is foot pad approaching the maturity. You can see the foot pad here should approach the maturity and with enough size, and it's say the shank length and everything, and the development of sexual development and synchronization. So this is actually required. Beyond uniformity, these structures to be developed. One is skeletal structure, its fleshing, its foot pad, and its complete maturity structure. So this is what actually required for a right laying bird. Then it is what should be the fleshing structure at different ages. You can see here. So at different ages, it is mentioned that this is what keel bone, how it is coming down. So it is at least 12th week. This should be the shape, so that the more flesh is not there, but the body structure, bony structure is properly developed here. So this is what, and then the flesh is increasing as per the as the age is advancing. So this is all about that. Then there's a muscle which contains the glycogen, which rapidly available for the energy for the egg production. So muscular development is very much important when bird is preparing for laying or at the onset of laying. Then it is a pullets with the insufficient muscles will not have a sufficient energy available to sustain the high production. When they are crossing around 97 98% when they are producing, in that condition it should have a sufficient muscle mass to provide enough energy for that high production. This is very important. So this is about the breast meat or breast muscles need to be developed for the layer bird. This is actually a picture of that. You can see the improperly developed pullet, which is say, having a keel bone very sharp, and the other rib structure and all not properly developed, so that the musculature part is very weak. You can see, and here it is a properly developed bird with say right sharp and clear keel bone with enough musculature over the chest part here, which is very important. So for that, a pullet body weight is should means say should be correct. It should be light. Then the low feed intake at the beginning of the lay. This is what actually the factors which are responsible for this weight gain of the layer during the lay, which is which should be correct, and then the poor breast and other development. So this is what actually factor affecting for this particular structure. So it should be properly taken care right from the beginning, so that musculature part will be very correct. Next is about the lighting management. So we'll just shift to the lighting management, which should be planned at very first day of the life of the layer bird, or layer chick rather. First week it should be 24 hours in both summer laying as well as winter laying, and the lighting should be like this. You can say it is about 60 to 80 lux. It is minimum required for that particular age. Then it is at next to maybe from first next 2 or 3 weeks it should be 16 hours. We can reduce it down. Then it is like so you need to reduce it down by considering daylight also. So daylight for say around 11 to 12 hours, and the additional light. So first week it should be like this, then we can reduce it down, gradually further reduce down after fourth week to daylight only. So this is what about up to 16 weeks should be the daylight. That is one part. And next, right from say it is like 17 to 21st week, when the bird is preparing for laying, what should be the lighting structure, you can see. So this is all about when you are giving brown out or black out, whatever you are giving, on that basis you have to give the lighting structure. Like say this is what should be there in the summer laying. Summer laying it should be 12 hours at this particular age, and start again lighting in the winter laying by 1 hour plus, something like with the this amount of lighting schedule. And slowly we have to increase up to 21 weeks, making it a complete lighting schedule. So this is what about slowly increasing of the lighting schedule, you can see. So by 21st week enough, that is the period when you have to complete the lighting 16 to 17 hours lighting schedule to be maintained for the layer bird. This is what actually the different lighting houses you can see with say they are having open houses with enough lighting. You can see here, this is what open house, so with enough lighting. Then it is closed house with the battery cages. You can see how they are mentioned, completely closed house with say the battery cages, and a completely lighting house with the say 24 hours lighting and all. So this should be given for first few days, and then it will be gradually reduced. And this is all about the open house with say artificial lighting. So this is all about that, how the hens are being maintained at a different lighting schedule. Then we will just go into the nutritional considerations or the nutrient requirements that say they take it any of the bird, take it at the any breed rather. There are certain standards for the nutrients at different levels. So this is all about when we think of chick, and then is grower. Layer 1, that is when the bird is preparing to lay, and then it's laying maximum of its say the laying. And the layer 2, that is the second phase of the productive cycle, like after 45 weeks. So these are the basic requirements, we can say, right from the metabolizable energy. Then it is crude protein, calcium, available phosphorus, lysine, methionine, crude fiber. Then it is like linoleic acid, sodium, and chloride. So these are the different levels which is need to be maintained. We said these are the very standards we need to maintain at that particular age. And if we are giving this standard, this is very helpful for the bird to perform at that right age. Deviating from this will lead to say the poor performance from the bird. This is what the minimum requirements in different countries for the different birds. Little maybe minor changes they are possible, minor additionals, or maybe more or less it is like depending on the genetic requirements of that particular breed. We can see those breeds also. So, like when we think of say Highline WAT commercial layer bird, which is there in major part of the world. Highline is the most famous bird in the worldwide at the moment. So, where it is up to 60 weeks, it is laying around 252 to 258 eggs, while it is in the hen house up to 90 weeks is around 410 to 425. Peak is around 95 to 97. Sometimes it goes little further also, around another 0.5 to 81% up to 98 sometimes, but that is very short period. Then it is weight at 26 weeks should be 56 grams, which is a standard sellable egg. What we call at 32nd week should be 59, and 78 should be 64 grams. So this is what about that particular bird which is there in say the global market. There are certain negative factors other for this particular bird. So it is all about the delayed weight gain and the sexual maturity of this bird, because of depending on again little management part, but definitely that factor is there. Then it is a lesser sustainability to the peak. It is sometimes not crossing 92% depending on again the managemental condition. Though they are claiming 95 to 97, but most of the cases it may not cross 92. But at the end of the day, if it is running more age, or say particularly more the weeks with this 92, we can touch this hen house in that given productive life cycle. And then it is a slow recovery post viral and bacterial challenges. So this is what actually about this bird, little recovery is comparatively slower. So it may, if anything get affected, or any viral or bacterial challenges they come, so the recovery may take little longer time compared to the other bird. This is about this particular bird. Then we can take about the bowen white layer. This is again commercial layer which is there in major parts. Here they are claiming up to 100 weeks. You can take the laying right from 18th week. This is the biggest, rather say the productive cycle for that bird. So 476 eggs they are claiming in a one life cycle from that bird, with the average egg weight of 62.5 grams. Average peak production is around 96%, and uh, production means at the age of 50% production is around it is 143 days. So that is somewhere around after 21st week, rather I could say, that is the age of in middle of the 21st week. So this is about that bird. The negative parameters or negative side of this particular birds, it is like the delayed weight gain again, onset of delayed and actually onset get delayed, and the peak production also loss due to the pullet eggs, smaller eggs, which is around 7 to 10 eggs compared to we are losing out of as a small eggs, and then it will come to a normal sellable egg. Again, the recovery comparatively it is a little slower in the post infections. Then it is a Loman bird, Loman LSL. This is a bird which is there in major part. Here too, they are again claiming of say 18th week to 100 weeks of performance. It is 476 eggs. It is more at up to 72 weeks. It is around 61 grams is the standard egg weight. It is little bit increased after 80 weeks up to 61.4 to say around 61.5, that much of the egg weight we can expect. And finally, at till the liquidation or till the end, I may say the performance of the laying cycle, it is around 62 grams. So this is what about that. Then it is about peak production 93 to 96%, and average production age is little more, little higher, around by somewhere around 22nd week it will reach to 50%. This is because the bird is little genetically heavy, so that you will find you will get comparatively delayed performance. The only advantage with this is the egg size is more than standards always, so you will get the first egg maybe at little higher side, and your loss due to the sellable eggs, means the pullet eggs, or we call a small eggs, will be very low, maybe hardly 2 or 3 eggs, depending on the flock performances. Then it is a delayed maturity and onset. Of course, that is one little negative part, because the bird is genetically heavy, or you can say the with little high weight that is there. A delayed peak it is there compared to the standard sometimes, because the bird is highly photosensitive. If the right onset of the lighting schedule is not given, then it will lead to a delayed onset as well as the delayed peak performance. So this is about Loman bird. Then when we think of, say, the performance graph of the growing body weight, so this is actually, this should go right at the right from the, we are taken from the first week to the 18th week. So this should grow in a smoother way. It should be like this. They should not be like, say, the jumps and falls and like that. So it should not be like this one, but this should be a smoother growth in the body weight like this. So this kind of flock, when if it is coming, it is getting the right body weight at the right age, will going to perform better way compared to the flock which is say either fluctuating in the body weights, and uniform body weight or uniformity part, definitely or entire uniformity part will not be in this similar fashion. Then the component of the egg cost, when we are producing an egg, say up to 80 weeks, if you calculate 80 weeks of productive life, say right from 18 to 98 weeks. So this is what 80 weeks of the productive life. When we talk, what is should be your the components of egg production. So this is actually 75% of this is your laying feed cost. So this is all about major your cost we are going to add in the particularly for when we are calculating the cost of egg production. So that is around feed cost. Then it is the rest things are very much an entire 25% rest things all are there in that cost of your layer devil chick, rearing feed cost, managemental, vaccination, and miscellaneous, everything. So everything is there in that particular pie, but 75% is the feed cost. So we have to look into every part of, say, every point of their life cycle should be taking care of their feed cost always. How to control the feed cost at the same time giving them the best nutrition possible. So both way it is equally important. Then a simple few parameters which I have developed for the commercial layers. So what it should be. So actually, when we are thinking of, there are certain revenue part which what impact they do have on the uh, cost per egg in paisas. So generally, it is in Indian condition it is planned, but definitely the similar way for the different places also. So this is like when we think of increase in 1 rupee, 1 Indian rupee in a devil chick price. So if we think of, say, there is a price increase by 1 rupee, what exactly the impact? The impact is the profit per bird. Definitely, it got reduced by 1 rupee because that price is already gone here. But cost per egg, it is 0.25 pice. 0.25 pice egg cost is increased for per egg. Take it like, say, the whatever the number of eggs the bird is going to produce, but this much cost already been added. So we have to look into how to get that cost from that bird. Then it is the increase in 1% hen day production. So it is the cost will reduce by 3.3 pice, or increased profit by 13.7 Indian rupee, what we call with 1%. HDP increase, hen day production increase, reduce in 1% depletion. When we reduce the 1% depletion in the entire life cycle, we are adding the say the to your profits, rather reducing the cost of egg per egg by 1.4 pies. So this is what, by just adding, getting reducing the depletion by 1% in the entire lifetime. So this is about that. And then the 1 kg more feed, if it is consumed by the bird, it is going to add the price about 4.7 pies per bird. 1 kg, more feed per egg. So now it is pure feed. But when we are thinking of 1 kg more feed per egg, so feed per egg, if it is there, then it will increase by 1.7 pies. And 1 Indian rupee more in the feed rate. Say if the feed cost is gone up because of the ingredient cost or whatever, or you are added few say medicines and or additionally whatever. So in that 1 rupee, if it is an increase in the uh, feed rate, it will add the egg cost will be increased by say 12.9 pies. And 1 gram wastage, this is very crucial, because 1 gram wastage per day will add your value in the say will add to your costing by 2 pies. 2 pies. See, just 1 gram per bird. You can see 1 gram per bird per day. This much if you are wasting. So imagine if the 20,000 flock, and if somebody is wasting around, so normal wastage is around 1 gram per bird. If you take, it is wasting around 20 kg of feed per day. This much wastage it generally happens because feed shifting from say the feed from the catch, taking the feed mill, shifting from the feed mill to the sheds, and then it is delivering to the birds. All those in this process, if 1 gram per bird, if its wastage is happening, it will lead to adding your cost of that egg is by 2 pies. Then it is long laying cycle requires higher egg output, then higher the export of the nutrients from the say the bird to the egg, higher the egg mass, increased yolk output. Yolk output should be perfect so that it will lead to a good size of that egg. Then it is a good eggshell so that the breakages will not be there, and it will reduce the maintain the profitability, reduce the losses. And then the higher the calcium. If the calcium it is giving it better through its albumin and the yolk part and all, so definitely it will add value for the consumer also. So this is all about the laying cycle. It requires this much of values actually. So this is about that. Then it is factor affecting the egg production. So what are those factors? So basically poor pullet quality, if it is there, as we discussed initially, because of may it be some reasons like the high bird density, inadequate ventilation, or you can take the sudden weather changes, equipment malfunctions, or the poor farm management. All these things which are actually leading to the poor pullet quality, inappropriate feeding program. So this is all the factors which are there, which actually affecting the egg production end of the day. So this is very important. Then the poor feed quality. Poor feed quality, it is one reason. If the food quality is poor, definitely it will lead to poor performance of the bird. If you are not giving a right quality feed, the quality ingredients and all, it will affect your profits. Then disease part, if the any kind of viral bacterial, as it was earlier discussed, that we are just faced some bird flu kind of scenario, and now it is we are free of bird flu, as sir discussed. So this is what about that. The disease scenario for the particularly for the viral challenges, inadequate water supply with the poor water quality, and of course definitely the inadequate light stimulation. These are all the factors which are responsible for affecting the egg production end of the day. Then it is liver health, which is very important for the lifetime for the bird. So the liver being a key organ in the long laying cycles, it has to perform many functions in the lifetime of the bird, and definitely being a key organ. And then it is the liver is healthy and functioning, it influences the egg weight, the laying rate, the persistency in lay, the egg shell quality, morbidity, as well as mortality, and of course the feed conversion. Feed conversion, that is feed per egg. So everything it has been considered, or it has been say the the liver functions are there, which are very important. So then fatty liver, if it is there, this particularly liver, this is a normal picture of the liver. If fat cells get intervened in the cells because of some reason, maybe the dietary fat getting high, or feed is getting the liver is getting involved with some kind of, so the elements and all, so it will lead to fatty liver with, because of the high temperature, high energy, and fatty birds, it will lead to a poor performance. Then eggshell quality, metabolism of D3 is very important to get a right eggshell quality. Choline, vitamin B12, folic acid, and other vitamin E supplementation that stimulates the liver health. So these are the basic factors which are actually required. Means say you need to take right from the beginning. It should be the taken should be care for the liver health. Then it is effect of the high and low protein on the diets, particularly with supplementation to the amino acids. Most of the times it is a consideration. It is people, they consider that if we maintain the amino acid profile, then protein is with a low protein rather, so bird will perform better. But this is actually a wrong concept. This was there maybe few years ago. It was there in Indian market and other markets also. By giving a little higher protein, you can see the performance of the bird for the lifetime. You can see how much they are producing, every part, right from the getting egg weight, right from getting feed intake, that is gram per hen. If it is good quality and good high protein feed, it will consumption will be better. Then it is the protein per gram per hen. So this is what it is. If we are maintaining that much of protein you are giving to the bird, the performance will be like this. So this is what 92 tons of in this one you will be getting consumption will be there by 100,000 hens. So this is what, and then nitrogen excretion will be good. So nitrogen excretion will be good. Naturally, it will lead to a good amount of the excess material which is there. It should be released, and the digestion part will be comparatively better. With the low protein with amino acids, so it should, if we are giving a little say manageable amino acids, means if it is at the same time low protein, so overall performance, friends, you can see it is reduced, including your intake and everything, everything getting reduced. So maintaining just the amino acid profile is not enough. Protein is equally important. This is what this slide says. There's some facts about the raw material. Take say about this, which actually the facts we need to consider while planning your feed formulations. So the high leguminous seeds, they can reduce the egg size. If you are facing the issue of say egg size and cannot control by any means, then increasing the leguminous seeds in your feed formulation will reduce the egg size. Peas or the beans which are there, which are actually 10 to 30%, if they are there, then slightly it slightly reduce the egg weight by around 3%. So this is there. And there in the beans particularly, if the visin and convisin, if these are the negative factors, or you can say the anti-nutritional factors which are there, if they are not there, then there would be no negative impact on the up to 30% inclusion. You can do it, so there won't be any impact on that. Rapeseed, or what we call a mustard seed, so this is what actually which has been used in the poultry diet up to 8 to 9%. But in the presence of the glucosinate, if it is there, then it will lead to poor performances. Similar way, it is induce a fishy taste for the brown eggs. So this is because of its TMA content, what we call the trimethylamine content, and it disappears with the help of genetic selection. So genetic selection of the bird, we can work on that, and we can reduce this part if the rapeseed use is inevitable. Then wheat, particularly if you are giving more than 50% in the layer diet, then it will it doesn't actually, it says, the literature says it doesn't have impact on the egg weight, yolk, and albumin both. Then the yellow maize content in the feed, actually it will have a good egg mass and the good color of yolk. So maximum percentage of the yolk, say if you want to get a good quality of yolk and color both, so you need to give maximum yellow maize in the feed. And the no salt, actually salt is very mandatory part of the say the feed formulation for any of the poultry category. It is so in that, if it is plant without salt, then it will lead to serious consequences of high mortality due to dehydration, because water consumption of the bird will go down and it will lead to a serious mortality part. So about a few facts of that. Uh, then here we will shift to some trials, layer trials of some products actually particularly. So this is all about basically the whole management part and profitability as it was discussed earlier. So management part I have discussed, and then it is all about the economics part, how which category, which basic value is very important for influencing the entire end of the day your egg production cycle. And finally it is about getting the maximum output from the bird in a natural way. So giving maximum to the bird in all the parameters what it was discussed, you can get the maximum output. At the same time, giving some natural products, natural performing products, which are having their own value in that particular this cycle. Definitely they are very important. The Zigbir is one of them. It is a ultimate natural performance enhancer. So you can see there are certain layer trials I can show you here. The effect of that particularly on the laying performance or the productive performance uh, of the of Zigbir. So you can see different parameters are studied here. They're actually toxin-free layer diet was taken along with some certain amount of toxin, and then it is Zigbir is given in that. You can see here the different uh, parameters and how it is performing here. So it is all about that different how the hen day production is getting affected if it is toxin it is there. But with the help of Zigbir we can control that, we can get a maximum performance with the help of, even though it is minorly or you can say get affected with the say the toxin, particularly aflatoxin. Then this is all about the toxin free layer diet we can see here, and how it is giving the egg mass also. Egg mass is also when it is toxin is in a more than it is permissible level. If it is there, definitely it is affecting performance, that is output as well as the egg mass both, but it is maintained here with the help of Zigbir. So you can see how it is maintained. This very clear in this first trial chart. Then effect on the productive performances. This is the second trial about the Zigbir. Actually, the flock uniformity you can see in the control. It is in the Zigbir when it was given from 12 to 20 weeks and 12 to 28 weeks. So this is what the period where the Zigbir was used in that particular flock, and you can see the impact of these parameters. So particularly in the control, it is 81, while it is increased in the when Zigbir was given little for the longer period. Mortality part gone down. Then it is, you can say, the age where the 50% eggs bird have achieved. It is also brought down with the help of Zigbir. Then it is the age to cross 90% of the egg. It is 90% egg we can achieve a little early age, 4 days lesser than compared to this particular while it is 183.8, almost 184 days for the control flock. In the similar way, it is the highest egg production and egg weight that is in gram at the 25 weeks of age. You can see here it is again the higher, it is almost around 48 grams. So this is all about impact of Zigbir on the different parameters for the laying hens. So, and the different parameters which are discussed here. In trial 3, we have just worked on the validation validation for the improvement on the HD, that is hen day egg production. So you can see there are certain actually toxins are being preferred along with the help of Zigbir. You can see the positive control here. So and then it is negative control with some toxins, aflatoxins. It is being given in that feed. Then apart from that, along with those toxins, Zigbir is given at different levels. It is 250 grams, 500 grams, and then the 500 grams with toxin binder. So it is without any toxin binder here. It is a positive and negative control. In the with both the control, Zigbir is used at 250 grams, At one particular part, it is used with 500 grams, and with just 250 grams, toxin binder is also used. You can see the difference, or you can see the improvement rather in the egg performance of that bird with the different. You can see very clearly it is mentioned how much is the zeolite or the toxin binder is used in this case. So dosage of the Zigbir at different ages, and 100 ppb of the aflatoxin B1 is added in that. So the toxin-free feed, aflatoxin feed, and then it is along with that both the cases with the different dosages of Zigbir diet. So this is what about the improvement in the performance if you are giving Zigbir along with, say, if it is been given with the good toxin binder also, you can see it has crossed the positive control, that is a toxin free feed which practically it was given, it has crossed that performance also. This is what the importance of Zigbir in your layer diet. Then it is about the validation for the improvement of the egg mass. So similar way, the similar kind of trial was conducted, and you can see the improvement. It is almost similar of the negative, say there's a positive control here. So the with the help of good amount of toxin binder at the right dosages and all, with 250 grams per metric ton of Zigbir, so it is giving adding value for getting good egg mass also compared to the other parameter, other flocks, other treated flocks. So at the different age groups, it is like this one. Then it is a validation for the liver health, which is the most important digestive gland, rather we can say, in the bird's body rather. So this is the trial conducted in Indonesia. The problem was the less production, mortality, and the PM postmortem was having the liver not in the good condition, pale and friable structure. So this is what a suspected toxicity issue due to humid conditions. So humid condition which led to maybe minor development of aflatoxin in the feed, which led to finally the toxicity. Treatment period was 4 weeks, and you can see the improvement. It was before Zigbir is a very you can say a very uh, uh, pale and kind of say the friable texture of the liver. It is there. After 2 weeks, there is a good improvement. You can see the improvement in the liver structure, and after 4 weeks, it is almost like a normal good quality liver with a little strength and everything. So this particular period has given a good improvement in the performance of the bird also. Then it is trial 4, effect of Zigbir on the histopathological evaluation of the broiler chicken. So here actually certain parameters were decided to get that so the evaluation part. So in that, so which was studied, basically these are the parameters like congestion part, cell vacuolation, then bile duct proliferation, immune cells infiltration, necrosis of the liver cells or liver say the entire part, pericholangitis, that is say it is a kind of the inflammation of the bile duct, and then it is a lymphocytic aggregate. So this is what actually about all the parameters when it was studied at different this one. So this is all about the Zigbir. It is being given at different age groups, and liver health supplementation is not given in the control. In the competitor brand was given in the first, second, and third week. Zigbir was given in the first, fourth, and fifth week, and it is about the Zigbir all the way in all the weeks. The entire life cycle of this. So these are the different parameters. So where it was studied, and you can see improvement part here. So at the scoring part at the age 14, you can see the control competitor, then the Zigbir at these particular weeks, and Zigbir all. Zigbir is the 1, 4th, and 5th week. It has been given as Zigbir right from 1st to 5th week. So this is all about the improvement you can see in the different. So congestion it is getting reduced, cell vacuolation it is getting reduced, bile duct proliferation got reduced. So with this one, improvement in the immune cells or the immune cells filtration is like that. There is no say the this one infiltration of the immune cells is not there, which is almost common for all. Necrosis part got reduced, the liver necrosis it got reduced. Then pericholangitis, you can see the pericholangitis, it is getting reduced here. So when comparatively very high with control and competitor flock or competitor trial flock, it is very much reduced with the even with the 1.5 weeks it has been used, or the entire lifetime it has been used. And the lymphocytic aggregation, this is what actually again further reduced with that. So total ISI score is much better compared to, you can see here, it is 10.1 with the control and 3.1. It's almost one third of that with when the Zigbir is used for entire lifetime of that particular age. So this is all about that. Then it is a liver ISO at first we have seen at 14th day age, then 28th day age. 28th day again a similar way, it is the everything it has been getting reduced, like say the congestion, saliva evacuation, including everything, every parameters, and finally you can see the ISI score is also much better compared to the control flock as well as even the competitor flock. Competitor flock it is 14.1, while it is Zigbir it is just 8.9. So this is ISI scorings are there for the liver. The conclusion finally it is like say the finally findings depicted that the low ISI value, low ISI score, that is in the Zigbir at 125 and Zigbir all group was due to lowered congestion and the immune cells infiltration, reduction in the necrosis, bile duct proliferation, and the pericholingitis. These are the basically which are the parameters considered. So all these negative parameters, when they results in positive way, so entire the ISI score it is gone up. And finally it is like say the conclusion part, it is it can be it can protect the liver. Zigbir can protect the liver by elevating the inflammation in the broiler chickens, which is evidence from the low ISI scores. Lower the ISI scores, it is better the liver health. So naturally this is what about that. Then it is the next product I'm going to discuss about the Zist. So Zist is very importantly, it is natural immunity optimizer, what we call as the tagline, and it gives a complete 360 degrees change in the immunity part of the bird rather. So basically it is been preferred in the liquid form. So it is better to use at what age you want to use it at different cycles of the laying as well as the mid producing bird. So this is about that for layers. When we see what is the impact in the trial one about the layer bird and the defective eggs per week. So defective eggs per week, you can see it has been given at 43rd week. It was been pre-treatment period, and then it was given till 49th week. You can see at 200 gram per ton is being given in the feed. And post treatment it is like this. So this is what about that in the control as well as in the treated. This is what the blue line is control one, while it is the treated one is the this. You can see the improvement. So it is comparatively much better in that particularly say better in the sense reduce number of the defective eggs. So this is what about that when the control flock it is having a little higher amount of the defective eggs at the even pre-treatment, you can see, and post-treatment part also. Both way it is similar. It is the comparatively the this when feed in the feed it was there, it is giving a good impact on the getting the lesser number of the defective eggs. Then the hog unit, that is the freshness of the yolk egg. It has been measured in this hog unit. So in the layer trial, when the gist was given at 200 gram per ton, definitely it is going to take care of the hog unit. You can see here the treated and the control flock everywhere right from the beginning. It is at higher side only. So getting good fresh eggs, you can maintain at the farm level. The test of egg and everything will be good because of this only. So getting a good hog unit and your farm fresh eggs, which will increase the longevity of those eggs for say little longer time at farm level and maybe at the consumer level, both way. Then in the breeders, there are certain particularly at Chennai in India, this veterinary college. This trial was taken by Dr. D. Narihari. So he is actually a professor there for the nutrition. And in the broiler breeders, he took the trial for the 70 days duration. and there are certain parameters of the Zist they will be studied in India. You can see the hatchable eggs per hen, which is gone up. Then the chicks per hen, chicks per that particular hen, it is gone up. Percentage of fertility, percentage in getting more number of fertile eggs, it is gone up by giving 250 grams per metric ton of Zigbir. Mortality got reduced. It is like say the getting feed in the hatching eggs per hatching egg, feed per hatching egg rather, it is reduced. Rather, we can see here the feed consumption was though it may say if it is higher also, but if you are getting good number of hatchable eggs, so your feed per hatching egg, it comes down, which is very important economic parameter rather. And then it is the free that is chick per gram. So this is what actually about that getting, that is also getting reduced. So this is about the breeder parameters with the help of Zigbir. Means all the major parameters, the commercial parameters rather I can say, these are all positive with the help of Zigbir at the dose of 250 gram metric ton in the compared to the control one. Then the commercial broilers, similar college again, it has done a trial on the commercial broilers. You can see the which important parameters which were studied and control versus the Zist 250 gram per metric ton. The body weight gain, you can see gram per day, that is the daily weight gain, what we call, it was little higher side comparatively. Then it is like the feed consumption per day, it is higher. So comparatively it is though it was higher side, but it is equally giving the conversion also. So this is what important. Then feed efficiency, that is feed per gain. So it is like say the gain is comparatively it is means say when we are getting that number say consume feed with the egg weight gain. So this is what about the in the broilers. And then it is like giving mortality percentage got reduced, drastically reduced. It is what 8% with control flock, it is reduced to 3.2%. Then mortality due to heat stroke, particularly because when the liver health say it is good, and then it is all the organs they are performing better, definitely the bird is in the lesser stress and you will get a lesser mortality due to heat stroke, which was almost zero. It is not almost, it is zero compared to the control flock, it is 5%. So this is what. And the HI titers, hemagglutinin inhibition titers. So this is actually in the log value, they are comparatively higher. You can see it is 3.4 here, and which is 4.2. This is a good titer value for the broiler flock, I can say, because getting above 4 for the broiler flock in the entire lifetime, it is really a good. And this is completely because of it is supporting the immunity part of that bird. Then it is about the EEPF, that is European Efficiency Productive Efficiency Factor. So it is very good compared to the control flock, which is 207 and 234. So it is almost very high in all the parameters with the help of Gist. So there is a significant difference in the control and the Gist performance with the broiler flock. We have seen earlier the breeder and the layer flocks, and with the broilers also. So this is all about both the products actually, Zist and Zigbir. So Zigbir being a liver health supplement for the bird, and Zist is like say the immunity modulator, immunity enhancer, or this you can say the DRAS, which actually taking care of the for complete immunity part in all the parameters, all the aspects of the bird. And then finally the product which is yet to come in the Philippines market, but it is like say the recipes, which is a almost a year old launch in the Indian market for us, and it is about a good product with the resilient respiratory solutions, what we call. So it is because respiratory challenges, they are bound to be there for the poultry birds. We can say right from the day one, bird has to face at different ages the respiratory challenges, they are bound to come, and this is the solution for that. Then it is like so the field trial which was conducted in the different parts, like say the evaluations of that in the chronic respiratory disease, CRD, what we call most popularly in the commercial broilers. The 4,000 birds They were selected 2000 in control, 2000 in the treatment part. And open ventilated sheds were there with automatic drinkers and feeders. And the management was uniform housing and management for the both the groups. It is similar management condition, similar other parameters also are there, and the 2000 birds each in the both the sheds or both the flocks rather. You can see the before treatment how what it was there. It is like a gasping. Practically, the bird is gasping, panting, and all those trying. Means the labored breathing, what we call. This is what there with that particular bird. So nasal discharge is there. Practically, you can see a feed and litter getting sticked over there, and it is like a depression, the dullness. I'm sorry. Yes. So it is all about these three parameters which were studied before treatment, and you can see the after treatment what it was. The impact of recipes on this is actually the cecal hemorrhages due to pneumonia. This is the before treatment lesions were there. So you can see the cecal hemorrhages practically, and the ICJ, what we call it as a ileocecal junction and the cecum part. So here you can see the hemorrhages were there due to pneumonia. Then it is the yellow exudate on the air sacs very clearly. These are the indicative of, again, to some extent, Mycoplasma synovae as well as the Gallisepticum both. Then it is like the tracheal hemorrhages which are being observed here. So this is what about the lesions were observed before the treatment of SPs. Then this is about the after treatment, that is day 10. After the 10 days of the treatment, you can see the reduction in the lesions of the air circulatories and the normalization. The lungs got normalized, and the lesions, they got reduced. Air circulatories particularly got reduced. The cleaner air sacs, we are finding no hemorrhages on the ceca. Over the ceca, it's like ceca is completely cured, completely recovered after the 10 days treatment of the RSP. This is a basic actually, and these are the indicative of the recovery of the flock after 10 days treatment of the RSPs. Then it is the result often they are actually in the first up to the 9 weeks. You can see the treatment sheds, the mortality numbers you can see in those particular flock control shed. It is this what mortality, and with the RSPs treated shed, the mortality is got much reduced in this particular is this one. So this is about that graph of the mortality pattern in the broiler birds you can see. So this is about the control sheds, and this is the treated sheds. The mortality is very much reduced at 35th day. So this is what, though it started little with the higher mortality, maybe some reasons were there for that, but it ended with the very low mortality compared to the control flock. So this is what about that. Then the is controls the post-vaccination reactions in the bird. Basically, this is very important product which is taking care of the post-vaccination reaction. Generally, of the any of the vaccine that we are giving, it could be for the ND, it could be for the IB, or could be for the IBD. So post-vaccination reaction in some cases, if the maternal titers are not good, or maybe it is facing some subclinical infections, in that condition, the post-vaccination reactions, they are mandatory, but this product is taking care of that by its own ingredient contents, and by giving the anti-inflammatory reactions also. So this way it is actually, you can see here, it is taking care of the post-vaccination reaction. It was, then it is normal after the vaccination, and mild reaction followed by the vaccination, then it is there for first 5 to 7 days. And then it is, although it is normal reaction, varies considerably among the flocks. So this is all about that. Post vaccination reaction are the common after the vaccination, as I told you. This is what about, then the reactions occur 5 to 7 days post vaccination, and this is all about, these reactions are very considerably among the flocks. So this is actually the background of that, and how it is adopted protection to each bird. You can see here how it is adopted by slowly when the age is advancing, and then it is slowly getting adapted to that particular condition by each of the bird, by getting more amount of, say, the antibodies getting developed, and then the even the MABs, what we call the maternal antibodies, they are being utilized in a proper way, so that there won't be a sudden drop in the say the antibody levels in the blood. So something like excessive post-vaccination reaction, generally it will lead to some kind of, say, the when the different vaccines are given, the Indicilled and an IB vaccine, IBD vaccine, everything is given at a 0 day, and then when the age is advancing, it will lead to some kind of, say, reaction. So again, 10th day some ND vaccine is being given, 15th day it 15th day you will find the excessive 15th day is the excessive post vaccination reaction. 24th day again another ND vaccine given, again 31st day you will finding the higher mortality with the excessive post vaccination reaction. This is what happening with the high mortality, and use may say generally here mortality is very high, and so in such conditions generally the bacterial infections they take the upper hand. Bacterial infections they generally come, and we need to go with the higher antibiotics. So this is what about that. And the product, particularly recipes, is there. If it is given in the right schedule, it is taking care of that particular the post vaccination reactions. The trial, it is again the trial, it is in the different part, it is in the Turkey, and it is in the different 7 houses with the 208,000 birds, 208,000 birds it was done. You can see vaccination was done at the first day transmune IB plus, and then 10th day it is ND spray, 14th day IB spray, and of course again 24th day ND spray. This is what the schedule what was done there. So IB and ND vaccine were given at the right intervals, and the history was this is about after 4 days, after 4 weeks rather, the 28th day later from the ND spray vaccination, the respiratory signs and the mortality is increased at that particular. So this is what actually that, and 31st in the control flock. This is about 31st in the when the respis liquid applied to the houses. So the mortality, where the highest mortality was there, we could control with the help of 320 ml per 1,000 birds. So this is what the dose, and finally you will find the results of that. So the weekly cumulative mortality, you can see with the help of recipes when it was given. So you can see here at 4th week, 5th week, 6th and 7th week, this is actually the part where you can see the house 1, house 2, house 3, house 4, 5, 6 and 7, all the 7 houses, what is the mortality pattern. You can see in the control as well as in the treated flocks, both way it is. So it is in the recipes, this is what indicating of the lower mortality comparatively, while it is the higher mortality with the this one without product. So this is all about a complete weekly cumulative mortality percentage, which very low in the risk treated flock when it was given. Then the weekly mortality, you can see here again at the 5 days of the recipes, it was like this similar way at different ages. It was like increased mortality in the control, while the recipes treated flock is ended with the very low mortality. It is very clearly maintained in this graph. You can see here. Daily mortality part, again the similar way, right from the 31 to 45 days of the age, daily mortality, you can see the very clear in this graph what is the mortality percentage or mortality, daily mortality pattern of the recipes treated as well as the control flock. So this is what about that. So it is, though it is little increase in certain time, but it is again ended with the very effective reduced mortality with this all the 7 shades you can see. So this is all about the daily and the weekly mortality pattern when the recipes was given in those particular flocks. Then it is the cumulative daily mortality considering the other house as control. So this is what about the control as well as the recipes flock. So recipes, you can see, though it is started with little higher but ended with a very controlled mortality. You can see the difference of 4.7 here and 5.58. So this is what at the end of, say, right from 31 to 45 weeks. Initial, it was started with little higher mortality, maybe there are certain reasons, but ended with very low because before it was little higher mortality, but it was ended with very low comparatively, almost around 1% reduction in the overall mortality in that particular flock. Then the conclusion. Conclusion of this is it was observed barely the mortality increase in the house 2, the recipe is liquid. However, it seems the sharply increase in the other houses after the 2 or 3 days. So in the daily mortality pattern, we can see it is just increased very sharply in the other houses, while in the house 2, it was barely increase in the mortality. House 3 didn't show any respiratory symptoms, and clearly product is able to control the excessive vaccination reaction, so which happens due to say many other symptoms they observed in the bird, may it be torticollis, may it be the other kind of say lesions like say tracheal lesions, inflammation part and all those. So which because of that, whatever the vaccination reactions they happen, the product can effectively control with the right dosages of 320 ml per 1000 birds. It is given at right times rather. So this is all about my presentation part regarding this. So now I'm open for the question and answers.
Okay, thank you, Doc Manish, for your nice presentation. Ayan, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so, and now, thank you very much, Doc. No? So now we are very happy that you have presented your presentation very well. Doc, there's a lot of viewers for this afternoon asking for your copy of your presentation, if you permit to give them a copy.
Definitely it will be shared to you. I'll do that.
Okay. So thank you, Doc. And once again, to our valued viewers, for those who are not registered in our live webinar for this afternoon, you can watch it replay via our Facebook page on East Asia Vet Facebook page, or you can check it on www.eastasiavet.ph. So you can replay the discussion of Dr. Manish. Okay. So now, Doc Raquel, we are very happy that for this afternoon, we are very lucky to have also one of the most intelligent veterinarian in India, the International Business Manager for Natural Remedies. Let's all welcome Dr. Junaid Syed. Doc, good afternoon.
Hi, Dr. Jeanette, Dr. Roli, Dr. Raquel. Thank you very much.
Namaste, Doc.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay,
Yes.
welcome, Dr. Junaid. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, and that was a very informative and illuminating presentation from Dr. Manish, of course. Yeah. Now have your questions ready, our dear viewers. But before that, we would like to share with you an AVP, okay, deemed helpful, especially during this sunny, rainy weather that we have right now. Please watch this and we will be right back. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're back. And now, isang magandang hapon po ulit sa ating lahat, no? Naimbag nga malam kayo amin, apo, sa lahat po ng ating mga viewers for this web show afternoon. So, thank you po sa inyo pong panonood. And now, we are encouraging all of you, our valued viewers, to kindly place your comment on or your questions in our comment box, and we will answer it live, okay? And first, we will have a question here for Dr. Manish and Dr. Junaid from Dr. Roger C. Ibanez. Having ASF and its effect in swine industry and COVID-19 pandemic, how do you see market situation for eggs and other poultry products? Any idea on cost of production of eggs?
So let me answer this question.
Yeah.
See, so look, ASF has been creating a lot of trouble, uh, in the Southeast Asian markets, especially in the markets in the Vietnam as well as in the Philippines. So we have seen that there is a trend where the consumers, the customers, the people who are uh, very well liking the pork have shifted their business towards the broiler as well as the layer farming. That is one. And the consumer preference has also changed a little bit over the year, because if you see the Philippines market itself, and I would really like to congratulate the Philippines poultry industry, especially the layer industry, that they have recorded the highest egg production ever in the history of Philippines in this year. And this is only because of the reason that the preferences have changed. Because of the ASF, the the swine farmers have probably shifted towards layer production, and because of the increasing feed prices for the broiler as well, there is a more growing trend towards the layer business, and egg prices are much stable. If you see the 1 year trend of egg prices, even in Philippines or in India for that matter, the egg prices have been quite stable when you compare it with the day old chick prices or the broiler prices. So we see that there is a growing trend for a better market for the layer table egg producers. At least for another 4 to 5 months, this trend will keep continuing, and we're very hopeful for the fact that ASF vaccine has been tried. There has been a rolled out ASF vaccine experiment or there in the Philippines in collaboration with some organizations, Waitis. And if that vaccine turns out to be a success, then this is why I said 4 to 5 months down the line, if that vaccine turns out to be efficacious, then that trend might shift again to the swine market. But there will be this balance which will be there for this whole year. The market for the layer will keep on growing for another 4 to 5 months, and if ASF is somehow controlled in swine, then only we will see that trend shifting towards swine again. So I think this is a very good time that we keep investing in in products which can enhance the ability of the layer birds to produce quality eggs. And wherever there are problems associated with the production in these layer birds, there are products available in the market. I won't say that only Natural Remedies products are there in the market. There are other products also in the market, but if you target a particular indication where we should be using these products like Zigbir as a liver tonic, as an intestinal conditioner, or Zist as an immunity optimizer, there are good validations we have, and there are good indications where we know that these products work well in the layer, in the table, like in the layers. Specifically, let's say Zist acting on improvement in the layer, in the egg quality. Specifically, if you say in the older flocks, when the egg quality gets compromised, so Zist kind of a product. And majorly in the liquid form. The good thing is that we have a liquid form of this product, so it can be vastly used by the farmers at the farm level. You don't have to add it in the feed also. I mean, if it is cumbersome for people to add it in the feed, we have the liquid version of this product that can be added directly at the farm level in water, and you will have visible results of this product in the water. Within 5 to 7 days you will have good results coming from this product. So similarly, in case of Zigbir, the product also is available both in the liquid as well as in the powder form. And if you could see one of the experiments, one of the trials which Dr. Manish was showcasing, that trial was done in Malaysia, which was regarding the ISI scoring, which is IC inside histopathological scoring of liver. So what they did in that trial was very evident, that they programmed the usage of Zigbir. So they used Zigbir in the first week, fourth week, and the fifth week of their validation. And even when they used it with that programmed form, they could see that the total ISI scoring for different parameters was much lesser than the control group where this product was not given, and the group where the competitor brand was given. And it simply signifies that it was better able to improve upon the health of liver. And we have there is a substantial information which says that if the liver health is optimized, your overall productive performance will be optimized, because your liver health means the largest metabolic organ of your body, producing bile, producing proteins, a lot of enzymes getting secreted. Then your intestinal health is also getting optimized because of this Zigbir product. So overall, we see a very good response to these products in the layer market also. I talked about Zist improving the quality of the eggs, improving the overall health of the of the layer birds. Zigbir kind of a product would not only improve the what you call the productive performance, but it will also help in better uniformity and uniformity of your flock, and increase in the synchronization. It will help in the synchronization of your egg production at the point of lay. Last but not the least, Zigbir kind of a product, in countries like Philippines, where we have a tropical climate, humidity levels are very high. Whatever best possible toxin binders you will use, there is always a possibility that you will have toxins coming in the feed, because the humidity is not to be, it's very difficult to control that. Now here, rather than increasing your toxin binders and adding more, I mean, toxin binders would, what they will do, they will not only bind your toxins, that there's a good chance that they will also keep binding some essential elements which will come in the feed. Here what we can do, we can add a product like Zigbir, which will synergize with the toxin binder and improve upon the health of your liver without causing without letting these toxins having any effect on the health of liver and the other organs which can get affected.
Okay, thank
Dr.
you,
Junaid.
Dr. Junaid. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Manish, do you have
Yes, and actually, Dr.
go
Junaid,
ahead.
yes, any additional comment? Yeah, but Doc Roger Ibanez said, "Thank you for taking note of my question. Answer was properly elaborated. Mabuhay."
Thank
Welcome,
you.
Dr. Roger. Yes, and how about Dr. Manish? Do you have an additional answer? Yeah.
Yeah, almost major part of that has been elaborated by Dr. Junaid. So I need not to have any specific things, but of course, these are the additional factors, because when we are thinking of the layer bird, it need to be layer bird or even entire poultry fraternity, rather may take the dollar or layer bird. So you need to protect the bird at every part of the time, and these are the organs. Take it as the example of Zigbir when Dr. Junaid was expressing. So it is all about supporting the liver for the right times, means when it is highly when metabolic things are happening every time, the conversion is happening, daily weight gain, or inside when the bird in the layer bird, if it is in peak, or take it as a breeder bird, it has to produce more number of hatchable eggs. In that condition, definitely some support to this kind of metabolism is very much required, where actually the zipper, a product like Zigbir and a Zist, they support the bird. So it's very much required, and we have to look at it at positive angles of this.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Manish. And here's another question that we would like to ask you. Can we replace antibiotic with Zigbir 100%?
No, actually, antibiotic do have got its own role in reducing the microbial load in the bird. So when any kind of infection they comes, so there is a role of antibiotic, and Zigbir is not antibiotic. Zigbir is a liver health supplement, and definitely it has its own role in taking care of the metabolism of the bird. So antibiotic cannot be replaced, or Zigbir is not going to replace any antibiotic, but it will support the bird. If it is the bird is infected and the liver is getting compromised, then along with antibiotic, if it is given to reduce the microbial load, definitely Zigbir is help, say it will help to improvise the liver health and improvise the performance, to reduce the mortality, to get the body weight gain and everything. So all the healthy effective parameters will get developed, but not going to replace antibiotic.
Okay, Doc. Doc, we have a question here, okay, from one of our viewers. They are asking, on your present earlier on the presentation you present, Dr. Manish,
Yeah.
in commercial broilers, you have 0% mortality as compared to control group. Does this as adaptogenic product can assist or help 100% reduce the heat stress of laying chickens? In what way, Doc?
Okay. Yeah. See, the product like this, they have got a high adaptogenic value. So bird, right from the beginning, it adapts to the situation, what it is going to get, metabolic changes or the environmental changes, what it is going to get. So in that condition, bird tried to protect itself, and we can get a major reduction in mortality. So in some cases, it is not in all cases you are going to get 100% flock for sale or zero mortality kind of thing. It is very rare, but major cases you will get a very low mortality with the help of good adaptogenic, good natural defense mechanism, definitely it is going to add value. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Doc. Doc Raquel, do you have any
Thank you,
questions
Dr.
there?
Manish.
Okay.
Yes, of course. Yes, about the Zigbir, replacing antibiotic 100%. So the answer is no, but I believe, Dr. Manish, they can work simultaneously. We can use them simultaneously, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
See,
without
Dr.
any
Raquel, I would like to add.
contraindications, right?
I
Yeah.
would like to add on here. I like to add on here. Uh, Zigbir per se is not an antibiotic replacer, but case to case we can, you know, case to case it would vary. There are certain cases where we have, there are some experiments where we have replaced antibiotics completely. Okay, but that does not mean that we will position this product as an antibiotic replacer. Yes, we can possibly reduce the dosage of your antibiotics which you are using by replacing that part with Zigbir. And with time, uh, possibly because there is then this evolution of microflora keeps on changing. So if you see, then the antibiotic which was 10 years back used, it is not at all efficacious anymore. So similarly, because the microflora keeps on evolving, it may not be possible, and the pathogens keep on evolving, it may not be possible to completely replace an antibiotic. But as I said, case to case, farm to farm, management to management, it will vary. There are some farms which do not use antibiotic growth promoters at all in their feed. Okay, so in that case, the situation is completely different. But there are certain farms where they use a high amount of antibiotic growth promoters because the management itself is so weak, or you can say uh, the the pathogen load or the susceptibility of the birds is so high that they have to use AGPs in the feed. So in that case, we have to be little careful while promoting this product. Although, as I said, we cannot directly promote this product as an antibiotic replacer. But having said that, we have trials where we have replaced antibiotics, but it cannot be a universal application for every farm. It will keep on changing farm to farm and condition to condition.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Doc, there's another question here. Can Zist completely replace vitamin C?
Completely, yes. Zist can completely replace your vitamin C in your feed, in your water. There is no need for you to add vitamin C in your feed. And there was one question before this, that can Zist be effective? Can Zist be an effective solution for the heat stress?
Yeah.
100% effective solution this product can be for the heat stress management, because the mechanism of action for this product and the and the things and the qualities this product have a very high impact on the stress management in birds. So it not only helps in reduction of your body temperature, because what it will do, it will optimize the metabolic performance, the metabolic rate, not the performance, the metabolic rate of your body. So when the metabolism of your cells is optimized, the heat production is reduced. This is why Zist is able to reduce the overall body temperature by zero point 0.5 to 1 degree Celsius. In addition to that, it has a very potent antioxidant properties, thereby increasing the level of natural antioxidants within the cell. And this is what actually vitamin C will do. Vitamin C is a potent antioxidant, and Zist and the trials what we have done in comparison with vitamin C as well, we have seen that Zist is a highly potent antioxidant and better and significantly better than vitamin C when compared with Zist. So we can completely replace vitamin C, and we can rely on Zist as an efficient stress management. Stress means in terms of heat.
Okay, Doc, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Junaid. That's good news. So we can replace 100% the synthetic vitamin C with all natural Zist. Okay, good news. And with that being said, Doc Jeanette,
Yes, Doc. So that's all for this afternoon for the Q&A portion. And now, for our valued viewers, let's watch a short AVP for commercial. And for our product officer, we will be right back. Okay, Doc Raquel?
Okay, we're back. Yes, we're back, and we have come to another exciting part of our webinar where we have already pre-drawn 32 lucky registrants and supporters, of course, and we will post or announce them via our New East Asia Vet Facebook page. And congratulations to all winners. And Doc Jeanette, can you tell them what's in store for our winners for the raffle draw?
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc. So, for the list of lucky winners for the Watch and Win EAVPI and NRPL raffle promo, those lucky winners will get 10 US dollar coupons, mags, planner notebooks from NRPL, and gift certificate for the Prima Duck Ham, our best premium packing duck meat. So you can check it via our Facebook page at Ace Asia Vet and via www.eastasiavet.ph, or you can call us for the Globe cell phone numbers 0955-469-1538 and for smart cell phone numbers 0968-432-2828. So you can check this on us if you have queries regarding the raffle prices. Okay, thank you for all the participants. Okay, so Dr. Ali, do you have
Yes,
any
thank you
message?
so much. And yes, closing remarks.
Yes.
Yes, Doc.
Thank you, Dr. Jeanette, Dr. Raquel. In behalf of our EDL group of companies and East Asia Vet Management, we sincerely thank all our registered webinar participants and the thousands viewing live on our Facebook page and YouTube. Sincere appreciation, Dr. Manish, for your very wonderful presentation. Namaste. And Dr. Junaid, our very good friend, as always, thank you for your support. Mabuhay.
Thank
Sa
you.
ngalan po ng
Thank you, Doc.
pamunuan ng East Asia Vet sa pangunguna ni Dr. Eulalio Docayong Lorenzo at ni Sir Yulo Bernard Lorenzo. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat hanggang sa susunod na webinar ng East Asia Vet and Natural Remedies. Good afternoon, everybody.
Bye-bye. Namaste.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
Dr.
Take
Manish.
care. Take
Thank you,
care.
Dr. Raquel. Thank you.